The sound of sneakers squeaking on concrete echoed in the empty schoolyard as Emily clutched her backpack against her chest, her heart pounding like a drum. She had stayed late after class to finish an art project, never imagining she would be walking straight into a nightmare. When she rounded the corner by the old gym, 3 shadows stepped out from the dark. The ringleader, Megan, smirked with a look that made Emily's stomach twist. Behind her, 2 other girls flanked her like wolves circling prey. "Look who decided to stay late," Megan sneered, pulling a glinting blade from her pocket. The sharp edge caught the fading sunlight, sending a shiver down Emily's spine. Her breath hitched. "What are you doing?" she asked, her voice trembling but defiant. "You think you're better than us, don't you?" Megan spat. "Always quiet, always drawing, like the world is your little sketchbook. Tonight, you'll learn where you really belong." Emily's legs shook, but not with fear. At least, not only fear. Deep inside, something else stirred, something she had buried long ago. She remembered the nights her father, a retired martial artist, had trained her in their small garage. He had taught her discipline, focus, and above all, the power of standing up when no one else would. She had quit training when he passed away, the grief too heavy. But those lessons had never left her. The 2 girls moved closer, boxing her in. Megan raised the knife with a smug grin, expecting Emily to crumble. Instead, Emily dropped her backpack and lifted her hands, her stance steady. "What are you doing?" one of the bullies whispered, suddenly unsure. "I don't want to fight you," Emily said, her voice calm now, her fear melting into steel. "But I won't let you hurt me." Megan laughed, but it was forced. "Oh, this is going to be fun." She lunged forward. Time seemed to slow. Emily stepped aside, her body reacting with the instincts drilled into her years ago. She grabbed Megan's wrist, twisted sharply, and the knife clattered to the ground. Gasps erupted from the other 2 as Megan stumbled back, clutching her wrist in shock. Emily planted her foot firmly, keeping her stance low. "This ends now." The 2 other girls hesitated, fear flickering in their eyes. They had expected an easy target, not someone who could disarm their leader in seconds. Emily bent down, picked up the knife carefully by the blade's dull side, and kicked it far across the yard. "You came here to scare me," Emily continued, her voice steady, "but all you've done is show how weak you are. Hurting people doesn't make you powerful. It makes you broken." Silence hung heavy in the air. Megan, still stunned, tried to muster her usual cruelty, but her lips trembled. The truth in Emily's words cut deeper than any knife ever could. Finally, one of the girls muttered, "Let's just go," tugging Megan's arm. They retreated into the shadows, their bravado shattered. Emily stood alone in the yard, her chest heaving. Tears welled in her eyes, not from fear, but from release. For years she had endured whispers, taunts, and silent cruelty. Tonight, she had taken her stand, not with violence, but with strength and courage rooted in love for her late father and respect for herself. The next day at school, rumors spread like wildfire. Students whispered about how Emily had faced down the bullies, about how Megan, the untouchable queen of intimidation, had been disarmed. For the first time, eyes turned to Emily not with pity, but with respect. But Emily didn't care about their whispers. What mattered was the lesson she had learned in the darkest moment: courage isn't the absence of fear, but the decision to act in spite of it. She had faced her demons, both within and outside, and walked away stronger. Weeks later, she stood in the garage, dusting off her father's old training mats. With steady hands, she unrolled them, a quiet smile on her face. It was time to continue what she had once left behind, not just for herself, but for anyone who had ever felt powerless. Because the truth was clear now, she was a fighter. And she always would be.